If you find yourself caught at the dinner table trying to please a group where half wants Chardonnay and the other half wants Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Gris can be your escape plan, your little crowd pleaser. We recently held a blind tasting of Australian Pinot Gris and Pinot Grigio, part of our deep dive series at YGOW. Our panel of winemakers and sommeliers picked their favourites, tasted completely blind. And this wine, the 2024 Vale Pinot Gris, was selected as one of the top wines. And in the glass, just fragrant notes of kumquat just leap out, along with lychee and freshly cut pear and lemon. There's a savoury and spicy thread here too, like hard cheese and cinnamon. Then on the palate, a wave of lime just races along with a mineral aspirin-like quality and a savoury parmesan finish. It's very much in the richer Gris end of the Grigio versus Gris spectrum, but it's not broad on the palate. It just races along. It's Pinot Gris without the flab. That savoury character comes from the winemaking. Part of this wine was fermented in large old puncheon barrels. These are big neutral oak casks that don't add oak flavour, but they do allow the wine to breathe. And after fermentation, the wine sits on its lees. Lees are the spent yeast cells left after the fermentation, and as the wine ages in contact with the lees, those cells break down, releasing these compounds that add texture and creaminess and savoury characters that can range from bread to hard cheese flavours, and it's what gives this wine that savoury finish. Lynn and Rodney Line established Vale by planting the first vines back in 1986, starting with Pinot Noir. Their Pinot Gris vines came a decade later in 1996, so those original Gris vines are now nearly 30 years old. Rodney and Lynn's son Tim joined the family business 20 years ago and now leads the team, which includes Matt Wood as their chief winemaker, who's worked at iconic places like Mosswood in Margaret River and then winemaking Tasmania before joining Vale. And the vineyard is located on Tasmania's Freycinet coast on the east, and uniquely, the entire state of Tasmania is just one wine region, but that doesn't mean there isn't tremendous variation throughout. The East Coast zone is among the driest parts of Tasmania. It has a little more sunshine and more coastal moderation and ripening generosity than some of the state's colder southern or northern pockets, and this is key for Pinot Gris because the variety needs a tricky balance. Enough warmth and sunlight to build those pear and stone fruit flavour profiles and palate weight, but not so much heat that it loses acidity and turns broad or oily or blousy on the palate. And you can see that in the glass here. This Vale site delivers that balance. This is a true Gris style. It combines those stone fruit characters with a savoury dimension from its time on lees in barrel, and it pulls off the balancing act, richness and texture without veering into flabby, overly oily territory. For the full results of our Pinot Gris / Pinot Grigio deep dive, head to younggunofwine.com. Cheers.